and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. And today you are going to meet two artists who currently have works on display at Blue Skies Gallery. My guests are Noah Smith and Barbara Gibson. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I'm very excited, and you brought beautiful, beautiful artwork today. So let's talk. Noah, do you want to go first and tell us about your art?
Yeah, sure. I do reverse window art, so I paint on the back of glass. And I brought this little guy basically to show, little jellyfish, but paint on the back of the glass, and when you flip it over is actually what I'm trying to get you to be shown.
Okay, hang on a second. Let me look at that, because most people who paint on glass paint on the front, right?
Yeah, the reason I do it that way is mainly because you can't Windex a oil-based painting or acrylic painting.
Yeah.
So you can keep it looking nice.
So all your texture is back here, and this is not the pretty side.
100%.
How do you do that?
See, but some well, I'm a little bit dyslexic, so it works for me. So I work backwards. So everything that normally I would do, that artists do last, I do first, and I work in reverse.
That is really cool. Like, until I held it up close.
And it's crazy because some people
didn't understand the difference.
Some people will display my art with the backside. They'll be like, oh, like, they'll send me a picture.
It's nice, but it's not as nice as this side.
They'll send me a picture of it, and they'll be like, oh, I hung up your art. And it's like, no. You need to turn it around, but it still looks great. I mean, and if they think they like it that way better, then hey, it's theirs.
So tell us about that large one.
This one, I'm really big into numerology and angel numbers. Angel numbers are sequential numbers, so like 333, 555, 777. 333 is support, and this piece is called Creative Soul, because I believe that we all have creativity within us. It's just a matter of getting it out and expressing it.
And so you've got the heart and the wings kind of together on that.
And then I like to sum up my art as it's like Andy Warhol and Jackson Pollock together, because it's very, very bold lines and almost like pop art. And then also like I like the expressionism of just letting the paint fall wherever it falls, and it could ruin it factor.
Yeah,
but
that's a risk.
However it falls, it usually turns out pretty cool though.
Because normally when you're painting, you have this surface, and if you mess up, you know, you can do a happy little tree, as Bob Ross used to say, or you can do something. You can't.
I gotta use a razor blade.
Oh my God.
A razor blade is my eraser, so it's like I get it down, and if it's not the way it's supposed to look on the side that I want it to be shown, I have to take a razor blade to it and start all over.
Cool.
It's a little bit stressful when you do something and it's all the way complete, and then you look at it, and like, as artists, we see the mistake. It's like nobody else would see it. If I showed it to you, they'd just be like, "Oh man, it looks great," but you know, I know that it's there and it has to go. Yeah,
yeah. And Barbara, tell us about it. When we first walked in here and you said photographer, I'm like, there's no photography on this set. You do photography, but and then add that art element to it. You start with a photo base.
Yeah, so what I am, I'm a fine art photographer. So
okay. I've heard that term, but I don't know what it meant. Fine art photographer, so meaning
that I do photos, but I create them as an art form. So they're not photography in just its purest form, but I take my photos and my images and I convert them more into a form of art.
That is so wonderful. And tell us where this is.
That is at Huntington Park Beach.
Oh, okay.
Yep, right at the base of the James River Bridge.
Because that's where you get a sunset. You don't get a good sunset on the East Coast.
The sunsets
you got to get up early if you want a sunrise.
Sunsets there are amazing. And one trick in getting a great sunset in the photography, when you're doing the photos, the sun will set, but all the brilliant colors come after the sun is dropped down over the horizon. And I see a lot of people there taking pictures, and some professional photographers, just people out there also that are just enjoying Huntington Park Beach. But usually once the sun drops down below the horizon, people are getting in their cars and they're leaving. Then they have missed the brilliance. After that is when the sky changes colors.
It's like sunrise. I'll be on vacation at the beach, and it'll say sunrise is at 6:15 a.m. Well, you go out at 6:15 a.m. and the sun's up. I'm like, oh man, you got to go a half an hour or so before it says sunrise to really see those colors.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, now these over here are very different because they're not landscapes. Tell us a little bit about where you took these photos, and they're very different. You know, you did different techniques with them.
Well, both of those photos were done at a ceremony that's part of Project 1619, First Enslaved African Landing Day. And the First Enslaved African Landing Day is celebrated, well, commemorated. That's a better choice of word.
That's so hard to get through how we honor that horrible thing.
It's a commemoration and not a celebration, but they're commemorating the lives of those Africans that passed away during the Middle Passage, along with those who were able to survive, and they actually landed at what is currently Fort Monroe, where at one time the narrative was that they arrived in Jamestown, and no, they actually arrived in Fort Monroe. So Project 1619 is an organization that works to correct that narrative. So they have their program the third weekend of August each year, and the main program takes place on Saturday, but then on Sunday morning, what they have at sunrise is called the Healing and Cleansing Ceremony. So it's open to the public. People come from all over. And in this image right here, these are three.
The top one?
The top one,
Okay.
The three ladies that you can see their faces pretty well, those are three tribal queens, I believe out of Angola. I don't want to misquote it, but I think that's the country they came from to be a part of the commemoration. And so what they do, anybody from the general public can show up. They encourage you to wear white, but you don't have to. But if you, you can participate no matter what you wear. And it's open to everybody. It doesn't matter what race, what ethnicity, it's just open to the public. So what they do, they walk with you out into the water, and it's called a cleansing and healing ceremony because they talk to you about letting go of animosity or any bad thoughts or anything that you're holding on, past hurts and things of that nature. So I'm out there and I'm standing out in the water, looking around for the jellyfish because it's in August.
Right.
And then the waves are coming in and it kind of sucks the sand out from under your feet. So you're trying to, I guess, brace yourself in the water with your camera, not wanting to get your camera wet, and get these images. And it starts at sunrise. And it is absolutely beautiful. The sun is coming up in the background and you're taking these images. So the top image and the bottom image, the top image is more of an art form, in my opinion, because I'll sit down and I'll just edit my image with multiple different image and editing programs till I get that form of art that I really like. And then the bottom image, it's the same thing. Again, with that one, if you look in the very background of the image, you can kind of see the sunrise and the colors in the sky. And you can see the ripples in the water really well, so you kind of can tell that that water is moving.
You can, and you can see, like, you've captured, in the top one especially, I think it's more contemplation and, you know, turning inward to do that kind of healing. And in the bottom one, you've got this element of joy and release. And I think that's beautiful.
Well, you hit the nail right on the head. The bottom one is called, the title is The Release. That's the title of the bottom image, and the title of the top image is Laying On of Hands. And this one is called Off Duty. There's nobody in the lifeguard stand.
That's great. So you all are exhibiting through the month of June at Blue Skies, downtown Hampton. Can't miss it. Are you at Blue Skies regularly? I know they have artists all the time, but then they do special exhibits.
Well, I'm a resident artist there all the time. And by the way, our show is titled Coastal.
Coastal.
That's the title of the show, and it will be up all of the month of June, and it opens on the 1st.
All right.
Yep, and I'm also a residential artist there, but I also do a lot of festivals and pop-up shops and things like that as well. So it's like I'm constantly bringing stuff in, moving stuff around, and just keeping it fresh. And I think that's the great thing about the gallery in general is just there's people will come in, and on the days that I'm working, they've came in the store before and they're like, everything's so different. And I'm like, that's the great thing about it.
Yeah, yeah, it changes. There are like 51 artists who display and work there. And so you really see something different. And it's my favorite thing to walk in when someone is working and you watch them create their piece, whatever it is, you know, whether it's a painting or jewelry or carving. It's beautiful to watch that artistic process.
And you get the opportunity to do that quite often in Blue Skies. The artists are there working their crafts. And it's just exciting to see how something starts and then to see the development of it. And when I volunteer on the days that I'm at Blue Skies, every time I come in there, it's like, oh, when did this come in? Oh, we have a new artist. So it's a big venue for artists, Blue Skies Gallery.
It absolutely is, and it has been for a long time. I know Darla hasn't owned it forever, but it has been really a mainstay in downtown Hampton for art and gifts and, you know, just big pieces, little pieces, everybody can find something there.
Exactly. It's the gift haven. You can find it from A to Z.
All right. Well, thank you both so much for coming.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
I hope you will stop in during the month of June. Well, actually, you can stop in anytime. There's always something at Blue Skies. But if you want to see more works by these two artists, please come during the month of June. It's always free to visit. You might spend a little money once you get in there. Thanks for watching.